And I really like that part of the book that you sometimes need a clumsy solution. Elegance doesn't always work.
Yeah,
One of the companies I used to work for was very much consensus driven decision making.
yeah,
And it was literally, you'd all get in a room, you'd all have the discussion, you'd all hold hands and sing kumbaya, and then a decision was made. And that meant that nobody was to take credit and nobody was to take blame.
yeah,
And the alternative, of course, was the Steve Jobs approach, which was the lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way because this is where we're going,
yeah.
and trying to find the difference between those two. So the title of the book that you've written that we're talking about today is Leadership: A Very Short Introduction. And now that we've kind of gotten hopefully a good foundation of understanding the difference between tame, wicked, and critical problems, and looking at elegant and kind of clumsy solutions, what was your inspiration for writing this particular book? What were the key things you want people to take away from this particular book?
So I'd come across the Riddle and Webber stuff about 1992, I think, when I was working with some health service organizations. But I previously come from a quasi-military background. My father's in the British Army, and I'd actually done quite a lot of teaching for the army. Even though I was never going to join the army, I was quite interested in it, and they were always talking about the role of command. And the role of command never really sat easily with the division between management and leadership in the work that I was also writing about. So I began to think about, so where does command fit in here? And that's really where they adding in the third variable, problems, critical problems, came in. That this would be a space where you would be coercive. You would not be looking for help from somebody else. There would be no kumbaya leadership. We would not be singing round tables or holding hands. You would do exactly as I told you, which is different again from the tame approach, which was, we pay you lots of money, you're very skilled, you know what to do, just go away and do what you normally do.
Mm,
So I think I was trying to work out whether there was a gap in the original work, and that's why I added the third aspect in. And I think it's that the critical role is also important in trying to prevent people from ending up in the kumbaya approach, as you call it, simply because a lot of my academic colleagues are so pro groups, egalitarians, and democratic approaches that it seems to them that there aren't really any tame approaches. There's just this we should all get together, hold hands, and everything will be fine approach. And I spent a lot of my life trying to argue that that is a really important point for the beginning of how you address a wicked problems. You do need an egalitarian group to enable you to get all the information out and to start a different way of understanding how to deal with a problem. But even within wicked problems, there comes a point in time where you must do something about it. And if you don't, then things will get worse. So if you look at current environmental problems, I think we still seem to be in the kind of wicked zone with environmental problems about what the hell are we going to do with this? And everybody needs to be on board to do something. But if we get 10 years down the road and not much has been done, and we have significant increases in temperature, there'll come a point when we won't be asking you, would you mind not wasting all the water? We'll be telling you, you aren't getting any water on Thursdays or Tuesdays. So
mm,
you shifted it from a wicked problem to a critical problem because we have not been able to come to some kind of decision. So I still think that there's a role for the coercive, and again that rubs up a lot of people. They think I distinctly remember working with some very junior graduate social workers on a program, and I'd made this argument about these three decision modes, and one of the very young social workers who'd only just started said, I disagree fundamentally with your assumption that we should be coercive or we should have a command role." And I said, well, there will be some situations in your life where you need, for example, to be taking children away from their parents because the children are at risk, and you have to coerce them and use the law and take the children away. And her response was, no, that will never happen because I think what happens is we'll be so skillful in our approach to these parents that we'll be able to stop them from doing anything dangerous. So we'll never have to take the children away. And my response was, I think you're in the wrong job.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I got asked to that particular group, because I think I really offended them. And I think this is the point about the bizarrely, the leadership role is getting people to understand that there are some things, some lessons they don't want to listen to. And your job is to tell them this is the unpleasant truth and you need to listen to it.